The city of Tulsa has agreed to pay a whopping $26 million to a man who was wrongfully convicted and spent decades in prison because of it. News Channel 8's Burt Mumolo reports on the shocking circumstances that led to this massive settlement. Burt.
A devastating portrait of injustice. That's how Henry Jamerson's lawyer describes his case. The story of a man who was told time and again that the crucial evidence in his case, which could prove his innocence, no longer existed, only to find out it actually did.
I don't be playing around with my freedom.
When we interviewed him back in April, Henry Jamerson had just filed an 89-page lawsuit in federal court after spending decades behind bars following a wrongful conviction in the 1991 rape of a 16-year-old.
All of it is shocking.
Attorney Dan Smolin is Jamerson's lawyer, who meticulously laid out the tangled web of jaw-dropping allegations of wrongdoing by the police department, the DA's office, and the city, even the current police chief.
I think he definitely knew.
He says, that authorities had the DNA evidence from Jamerson's case, even though time and again when Jamerson asked to have it tested, he was told it no longer existed. Quote, "We decline your request to inspect the Tulsa Police Department laboratory and/or property room to search for a piece of evidence that we are certain we have destroyed."
They had maintained that it had been looked for, they had looked at everywhere possible, that it couldn't be found, that they were certain that it didn't exist anymore.
The DA's office, he says, jumped on the bandwagon. There is no reason to doubt the city of Tulsa's diligence in failing to locate petitioner's evidence.
That's statements that they made to a court in the Tulsa County Courthouse during evidentiary hearings.
And city legal? No better, he says.
It's been destroyed. The city on letterhead wrote from the legal department, we're not going to go look for something that we're certain has been destroyed.
But lo and behold, after a 7-year legal battle, Smolin got a court order to search the property room himself. And within just a few hours...
It was surreal. It was surreal that we had found it. It was surreal that we had been lied to for so long about the existence of it. It was shocking that Henry had been asking for this and denied the opportunity over decades to have had an opportunity to get out of prison for a crime that he had nothing to do with.
It's frustrating, man. You know, especially you go to prison for a crime you didn't do, spend all that time, 24 years in prison.
Jamerson could have gotten out sooner, but stood his ground, maintaining his innocence.
They want me to take parole, and I keep turning it down because you take parole, you can't file no lawsuit on them. That means that you take parole, that's saying that you're guilty of that crime. So I didn't mess with it.
And now that patience has paid off to the tune of $26 million. And one outstanding question: will there be any actual fallout within the agencies that led to this calamity?
I think there needs to be fallout from it. The entire detectives division at the Tulsa Police Department needs radical change.
Attorney Smolin released a statement today saying, in part, Mayor Nichols and the City Council saved Tulsa taxpayers millions. If a jury had heard how Mr. Jamerson's conviction was based on coerced testimony and how the government withheld or concealed the pertinent DNA evidence for years, the verdict would have likely been astronomical.
Good morning and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really appreciate you. Okay, we're going to start it out talking about this guy that looks so familiar. I know. I remember when he was convicted and we reported on it, and I thought, this guy looks like a math teacher, but he's not. He's a bad dude, a real bad dude, a bad apple. He's a former Anderson County School Resource Officer, and he's been sentenced for sexual battery with student. Let's see what kind of time this guy is going to get. Anderson County, South Carolina, a former school resource officer from Anderson County pleaded guilty to committing a sex crime with a student in court on Wednesday. Nicholas Kane Posey committed sexual battery with a 17-year-old student at Westside High School between August and October of 2023. The incidents happened in his office, at the school, and in the parking lot. Posey relinquished his law enforcement certification, was sentenced to 5 years suspension and 5 years of probation. If he violates his probation, he can be sentenced to up to 5 years in prison. Okay, he's getting off light. Posey was also given a personal restraining order in order to have no contact with the victim. Okay, that's all we have on that, Bad Apple. Thanks for being here, folks. Let's move on with the show.
Yeah, so this is Isaiah Hodgson. Isaiah Hodgson was a Customs and Border Protection agent, and he was involved in a controversial arrest of a 20-year-old U.S. citizen in a Walmart parking lot. That was Adrian Martinez. Now, the feds accused Martinez of getting involved in an operation, but during that takedown, Hodgson's face went viral. Now that's how we figured out who he was when this happened. Check out this video that we just got from the Long Beach Police Department. The Long Beach Police say that's Hodgson there in the white hat, white shirt. He had pulled out a gun, according to law enforcement, inside the women's restroom at a Yard House restaurant. This is a video from the parking lot when he encountered a security guard who later called 911. This is Hodgson, according to police, putting the gun down by a tree before he is encountered by officers. Now, this is a security camera from the Long Beach Police Department. Next, you'll see body camera video of when they tried to get Hodgson to surrender.
Sidewalk. Hey, don't reach for anything. Get on the ground. Sir. Get on the ground. No, dude, are you guys stupid? Get on the ground. I'm peeking. I'm peeking. All right, well, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now, dude. I'm gonna tase him. I'm gonna tase him. Tase him. You fight. Don't see that. Get on the ground. Dude, are you stupid? Are you stupid? Stop resisting. Get on the ground. I got him. I got him.
That's obviously the lengthy struggle that occurred between Hodgson and the Long Beach Police Department. Now, during that struggle, you heard him say, "I'm BP, I'm BP." We believe that to mean Border Patrol. Later, when he would be in a patrol car, he began asking for a Border Patrol commander called Greg Bovino. Obviously, they didn't do that at the time, but they did start to go through the gun that they found on him, later found at the tree, which you see right here. When they're talking about the gun, they say it has DHS in front of the serial number, and then officers on scene quickly learn that he's a Customs and Border Protection agent. Later, when he is at the jail, he is having a conversation with an officer about his work as a CBP agent.
You made a mistake.
No, I made more than one mistake, man. And everybody just hates me here. Do you know how many people are after me over here in Los Angeles?
I know.
It doesn't mean no, you don't know. You know what the word
said I
dox
don't
is?
know.
DOXXED,
No, what is
dude.
that?
Doxed. Have you ever had people stand up at your parents' house because you're over here in Los Angeles doing everything, dude? That's the I am, dude.
I'm sorry.
There's so many people at LAPD hate us, dude.
Now, Hodgson would eventually be booked into jail. He was later released, and while he was out on bail awaiting his court hearings, he died in a home in Riverside. Now, the Riverside County coroner has not officially determined his cause of death, but tonight the Long Beach Post, who first posted this video, reports that his attorney said in open court that he died of a drug overdose.
Looks like sentencing day is on the menu today at the Bad Apple Report. And this unsavory character has been sentenced. And it says the victim's age was used in sentencing of Marion County deputy convicted of shooting his girlfriend. What's that all about? Ocala, Florida. In sentencing a former Marion County Sheriff's deputy convicted of accidentally shooting his girlfriend, a judge paid homage to the young woman he killed. Leslie Bolea Jr., you remember him? He's the one making Leslie Bolea Sr. proud. Well, Leslie Jr. is only 33. He was sentenced to 25 years, 8 months, and 20 days in prison on Friday. Whoa! The sentence length equals Paulina Wright's age on the day she died. Bolea was convicted last month on the charge of manslaughter involving the use of a firearm. The maximum sentence was 30 years. On September 19, 2024, authorities say that after consuming several alcoholic drinks, Bolea decided to show Wright how to aim and clean his firearms. Bolea, believing the gun was unloaded, pointed a semi-automatic rifle at Wright. A bullet struck her in the head, killing her. Quote, this case reiterates the very real consequences of negligence and reckless actions, unquote, said Bill Gladson, the 5th Judicial Circuit State Attorney. I cannot think of a more just sentence to hold this offender accountable and pay respects to the victim and her grieving family. Well, you could have just given him 30 years and made sure that, 25 years, 8 months, and 20 days with just solitary confinement. I don't know. Just saying. The Marion County Sheriff's Office had employed Balewa for 8 years. Well, he should have known better, right? No. He was fired following the shooting. Well, that's good news. Okay, Balewa, the seersucker-wearing sucker, is going to trade in that nice suit jacket for an orange jumpsuit for 25 years. Thanks for being here, folks. Let's move on with the show.
It was a spiritual night as the family of Charles Adair and others in Wyandotte County rallied on the courthouse steps to call for justice in his case.
What do we want? Justice! Where do we want it? Now!
It's still difficult for Charles' brother Anthony to think about.
I miss him. Our family misses him. He's not here anymore. But forwardly, he's at home watching the games, enjoying his family, eating dinner, probably going to celebrate the holidays with them. And he should be in jail.
Wyandotte County Sheriff's Deputy Richard Fatherly was charged with his murder, but has not been arrested. Anthony says that's not fair.
This officer should already be booked, should have been photographed, should be in jail. Just like any other person who commits a crime, a heinous crime.
A crowd of church members, community leaders, and family prayed and sang on the courthouse steps Friday night.
Glory, hallelujah, is to our God.
They say they want everyone in the building to know that the community is looking for accountability.
We really want to set the tone for the kickoff of these court proceedings and really let people know inside the courthouse that the community really, really cares, not only about Charles Adair's life, but about justice.
But for Anthony, it's not just about his brother.
This is not just for Charles Adair. This is for every other family that has some injustice that has been done to them in this county. We're speaking up for everyone.
He hopes the gathering tonight and the continued calls for justice show the community that they're not afraid to speak up.
So that we can let people know in Wyandotte County that we're not playing. This is not a game. This is not a game. You guys are playing with people's lives, and you guys are hiding behind the badge, good old boy system.
Even though Tuesday's court proceeding is being held virtually, the family's still showing up here to the Wyandotte County Courthouse to call for accountability in this case. Jacob Sloan, Fox 4, working for you.
Wearing the Air Force uniform is an honor. Joy Hebron knows the weight and responsibility that comes with representing the red, white, and blue.
In the military, we hold ourselves accountable, and we're held accountable.
She spent more than a year in Military City, USA, working as a military training instructor at Lackland Air Force Base.
I was selected to be that job.
On an early morning in July of 2024, Hebron says she hopped in her truck and left her home on the northwest side. She says she had her Air Force physical training uniform on.
I was spotted leaving the area, and I was followed by a SAPD officer for what to me felt like a lifetime.
Within 10 minutes, records show officers pulled Hebron over near 410 and Babcock.
There were 3 police car lights that came on behind me, and of course, I'm shook.
Officers even noted Hebron drove at normal speeds and followed traffic.
Do you have any clue as to why you were pulled over?
Daniel, not one, not a clue.
Records showed 3 San Antonio police officers ordered Hebron to get out of her truck at gunpoint. They handcuffed her and questioned her about who owned the truck and what was in it. We wanted to show you footage of that moment. We've requested it from the city of San Antonio. They've since asked the Attorney General's office to withhold that footage because Hebron is now suing.
This is not an enemy. I'm not an enemy. I'm not a terrorist. I'm on U.S. soil. I had on my Air Force PT gear, which had an Air Force emblem on the back of my shirt. Never were the guns lowered. I've always thought we were on the same team.
An incident report shows Officer Robert Garcia ran Hebron's license plate near La Cantera, which came back as stolen. Garcia wrote that he pulled her over when other officers could come help. After she was handcuffed, Garcia says he realized he incorrectly entered her license plate. He released Hebron, telling her that he made a mistake.
This woman could have been killed if she had done anything other than what they asked her to do. And it would have been, the police would have said, well, we thought she was in a stolen vehicle.
Hebron's attorney, Marquise Kirkwood, says this should not have happened.
Miss Hebron was stopped because she was a black woman in a predominantly white neighborhood in a nice-looking truck, and she was stopped for no reason.
San Antonio police refused to make anyone available for an interview. A spokesperson says the stop was human error and had nothing to do with racial profiling or discrimination. Hebron is still in the Air Force, but now stationed in another state. She says the trauma led her to give up her position at Lackland.
On 8 deployments, I've never was diagnosed with PTSD, not on one deployment, but after this traumatic incident, my life will never, ever be the same. This is something I have to carry on forever.
Daniela Ibarra, KSAN Investigates.
We have a rather interesting story to tell you about. It's not uncommon, but it's interesting because a correctional officer who has been arrested for allegedly stealing from a prisoner doesn't look like the type of person that would have done such a thing whatsoever. She looks like an angel, but she's not. She's a LaSalle correction officer from Natchitoches, Louisiana, and she's been arrested for allegedly stealing an inmate's property. She's no angel. On November 11th, around 1:39 p.m., the Natchitoches Police Department, NPD, was notified of a theft at LaSalle Corrections Natchitoches Parish Detention Center earlier in the week. That's a mouthful. Officers met with LaSalle Correction Administration, who told them an inmate was missing money from their property upon release. Oh, she didn't think that inmate was ever going to get out. But they did. During the investigation, officers reviewed security cameras and they claimed to see Moesha Collier, age 28. She's only 28? Oh, Moesha. You need to take better care of yourself, girl. Now that you have time on your hands, you can do that. She's a correctional officer for LaSalle Corrections, and she removed the property from the inmate's currency bag and put it in her pocket. Moesha. Collier has been placed in the LaSalle Corrections Natchitoches Detention Center in charge of malfeasance in office, which is a felony charge, and Collier may be subjected to up to 10 years in prison and up to $5,000 in fines if convicted. Okay. Can't judge a book by looking at the cover, apparently. Thanks for being here, folks. Let's move on with the show.
Newly released video shows a New Mexico police officer's inappropriate behavior toward a woman that he pulled over in a traffic stop. He is now accused of rape, and it's not the first time one of his traffic stops made headlines. News 13's Annalisa Pardo has the video.
A traffic stop in Bosque Farms in September that immediately raises red flags.
Typical woman with a bunch of papers everywhere.
41-year-old Bosque Farms Police Lieutenant Ricky Dominguez pulled over a 21-year-old woman for speeding, and he appears to start flirting.
You're all dressed up. I thought you were going to say a date or something.
He tells her he'll give her a break, giving her a citation for a lesser speed. Then he asks more personal questions in Spanish, noticing a car seat in the back and asking if she and the father are still together. Dominguez gives the woman his business card, telling her how to reach him directly. According to a criminal complaint, Dominguez and the woman started talking and he voided her speeding ticket the next day. Police say they met up one day in October, and what started out as consensual intercourse turned into rape. Police say Dominguez had videotaped the encounter without the woman's knowledge. It reportedly shows her crying and telling him to stop. Police say Dominguez continues to assault her, and then he says to her, quote, "It doesn't hurt that bad." Dominguez is now charged with rape, and this isn't the first time we've covered Dominguez.
He's not wearing a mask.
Okay, I need you to,
hang on one second.
sir, you're in my time right now.
In 2021, a couple who Dominguez pulled over called 911 on him to complain about his behavior and for him not wearing a protective face mask during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Come on, dude. It's COVID around here.
Oh my gosh, you must be a Democrat.
Bosque Farms Police Chief Andrew Owen tells News 13 Dominguez did face disciplinary action for that 2021 incident and attended trainings on de-escalation and professional communication. Dominguez is now on paid leave for this latest incident. Annalisa Pardo, KRQE, News 13.
Dominguez is charged with criminal sexual penetration. He was released pending trial. Under the conditions of his release, he is not allowed to have any contact with the victim.
Okay, I hope you all have a great Saturday. Thank you so much for being here to watch the Bad Apple Report with me. We can all be thankful that we're not bad apples and we can just go about our day. I'm going to get out in the field on the tractor and also work on the fence row for a couple of hours, and maybe we'll have a After Dark episode, maybe not. Either way, I thank you for being here, and we'll see you later on the next video. Have a great day.